Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Test Code Automate. So this is my 12th video for the Playwright with TypeScript series. In this video, I would be covering test annotations in Playwright. So let's start. So Playwright Test supports test annotations to deal with failure, flakiness, skip, focus, etc. Okay, so before starting with the different annotations, let me explain you the configurations and the script which we would be using to understand these annotations. Okay, so into the playwright config.ts file, I have made some changes. So here I've kept the retries to 0, so it would not retry. Okay, and here we would be generating the HTML report only. Okay, and I've changed the timeout to 10,000 milliseconds, which is 10 seconds. Okay, and I've commented out this WebKit part, so test case would be getting executed onto the Chromium and Firefox. Yeah, I've already explained these playwright.config.ts file into my previous video, which was related to the configuration into the playwright for this playwright.config.ts file. If you have not watched that particular video, I would be providing the link of this video. You can watch that video. Okay. Now coming on to the scripts which we are going to use. So first one is this annotation practice.spike.ts. Okay, so here I've just created some of the tests where uh, I've just put the console log, the starting of the practice test and the ending of the practice test, right? Similar in the similar pattern, I have created 6 different test cases, right? Here the actual code would be coming, but just to make it simple and for you also, it would be easy to understand with this console log thing. But yeah, here you would be putting your actual code where we would be performing the different action onto the web page, right? Okay, and the second script which I'm going to use is this login test.spike.ts, where we are just logging in into this sourcedemo.com. So into the first test, we are just checking the title of this particular page of this site, and then in the second test, we are just logging in into the application, right? This www.sourcedemo.com, right? I will be providing this link if you want to use it for the practice. Previously also in the series we have used this, right? Okay, so now let's start with this first thing, first annotation, right? Which is test.describe. So it is used to declare a group of tests. Okay, so let me show it to you how we need to use it. So before that, let me give you an example, right? So for an example, let's say you are creating a script, okay, where you are logging in into the application, and there are different test cases for this logging thing, right? Let's say into the first test you are trying to check how the admin login is happening, right? In the second test you are just checking how the if you are logging in with any editor, so how the login is happening, right? This is the positive scenario. In the third test you are just logging in into any application as a viewer, right? I'm just giving an example. Okay, so these are 3 test cases where you are just logging in with the correct username and password and then clicking onto the login button, right? And there are some negative scenario also which you can test, right? Where you are putting the correct username but the wrong password and then trying to log in, and the vice versa, right? You are putting the wrong username and correct password, then you are trying to log in, right? So here the examples which I have given you, so you can kind of group the test cases into 2 different ways, right? The first group would be kind of positive scenarios or the positive test scripts, right? And the second group would be kind of negative test script where you would be checking the failure of login with the wrong username or password, right? So in such case you can use this test.describe, where you would be grouping the group of test cases, right? So let's group these 3 test cases, right? So how you can use it? So test dot describe you need to put, right? DSCRIBEC here also you would be able to see. Okay, and then inside this describe, what you need to do, you need to pass the title of this describe block. Okay, so let's for now let's put it practice or describe, right? Okay, and the second parameter you need to pass this anonymous function only, so async, and then we are not passing any parameter here, which is not needed for now. And then this curly braces, right? The similar pattern we use it into the test block, right? And this name should be any logical name. For now I've just kept it for the practice, but the example which I have given you, so here you can put the test.describe and the title as positive login test, right? So, and inside this anonymous function you can put those tests, right? So let's, for now let's put these three tests inside this describe, right? So now we have grouped these test cases here into the describe block, right? And these two tests, these three, we are not putting it into the any describe block, like they are not grouped. So now let's run it, right? So to run it, we are going to use this command only. So npx run, sorry, npx playwright and test. And for now let's use this name only. Okay, we are just going to execute this file only, and annotation practice.spec.ts. So to run the specific file we need to do it like this, right? Npx playwright test, which would be executing all the files inside this tests, and then this file name if you will put, then it will execute that file only, right? And hit enter. And once you hit the enter, the execution will start. So into the playwright.config.ts, right, we have configured it to just run it onto the Chromium and the Firefox. So our 6 test cases would be running on each of the browsers, right? So that's why, see, the 12 test cases got executed, 6 on Firefox and the 6 onto the Chrome, right? And now let's see the report, the HTML report which got generated. So to open the report, we can fire this npx playwright show report, okay, which will open the report. Okay, so see here, if you will see, this is the file which we are, test script file, right, which we are executing. Inside this, all your tests are there. 6 are related to the Chromium and 6 are related to the Firefox, and this describe thing which we have given. So see, you would be able to see this bifurcation, right, for the practice of describe, which the title which we have given, and these 3 tests are there inside this describe, right? So you would be able to see the same into the report. Okay, so now that's that was for the describe thing, right? You can also try it at your end by giving the different describe blocks also, right? Okay, now let's go on to the next annotation, which is test.only. So this test.only declare a focused test, right? If there are some focused tests or suites, so all of them will be will be running, right? But nothing else. So let's put this only test.only thing, right? So what it will do, if we will, let me put it first. Let's put it for this fourth practice test, fourth one. Okay, so how we need to do this? Test dot, after test you need to put dot and then only, right? And the uh, same thing, the title of that test block and the anonymous function, right? So what it is going to do, once we start the execution, it is just going to run this particular test. Okay, out of this whole batch of test scripts, right? So let's say there are 5 different uh, test script files also there, but out of that only this particular test would be getting executed, and we can use this test dot only for the multiple test, or the for the describe block also we can use it. Let's here put it for the describe also. So if you want to put this test dot only thing for the describe, so here you will have to use it like this, test dot describe dot only. That's it. So what now what is going to happen, it would be executing this describe block only and this test block only, right? Apart from that, anything else, if it would be there, it is not going to get executed. Okay, let me run it. Before running it, let me make small changes related to the HTML report, right? So I will keep it as open always. Okay, this thing we have already covered it into a previous video. You can go and watch it. Okay, so by this, whenever we would be executing our test at the end, it would be opening the HTML report always. Okay. Okay, now let's run with this only thing which we have provided, right? So npx playwright test and the annotation practice.spike.ts, right? And hit enter. So once you hit enter, the execution will start, and only these this particular describe block which is going to get executed. So inside this describe we are having three different tests, right? These three would be running, and this fourth would be running as an independent one without any grouping thing, right? So this happened, and it got executed for both the browser, right? For the Firefox and for the Chrome. So these four test cases, three are inside this describe and fourth one is outside the describe, got executed, and all other test cases, the fifth and sixth one did not get executed. Okay, so let's see the report. So see into the report, this is the latest one. Okay, so into the report, see, you would not be able to see the other test apart from that, those test cases for which you have provided this test.only thing, right? So see, four got executed. These were inside the describe block, and this is the fourth one. It got executed onto the Chrome, and the same batch got executed onto the Firefox. Okay, now let me close the reports. Okay, now that was related to the only thing. Now this test.skip. Okay, so this test.skip marks the test as the irrelevant. Okay, playwright test does not run such test cases or the test scripts, and use this annotation when the test is not applicable in some configuration. Okay, so for an example, let's say in your project there is one module for which there is some issues going on, right? So you know that you need to skip those test cases, right? Because there is some issue with the deployment or some development issues are there, so you don't want to run those test cases. So in that case you can use this skip annotation to skip such type of test scripts. Okay, so let me remove this only thing, and then we will learn about skip to avoid any confusion. Okay, this, so first one, these three are still there into the describe, and the fourth, fifth, sixth out of any describe thing, right? So now this skip we can put, so let's put it for this one, test dot skip. The same pattern you need to use. After test you need to put the dot, and then you need to put this skip. Okay, so once you put the skip, so with whatever the task case or the task script you have provided this skip, so this test will not get executed, and other tests are going to get executed, right? And same you would be able to see into the report also. Let me execute it. Let me terminate this HTML report thing. Control C you can put to quit, and then you can again type this yes or hit enter. Okay, or again you can press the Control C to terminate this process. Okay, now up arrow if you will press, you would be able to go to the previous command which you have used. Okay, just to save the time, right? Again you need not to write the command. Okay, now if I hit the enter, so let's see, if I hit the enter, so in that case this particular test, fourth practice test 4 is going to get skipped. Other tests are going to get executed, right? And this will get skipped for both Chromium and Firefox. So see here, our all the six tasks got executed, but out of those six, the one for which we have given the skip did not get executed. Okay, so the see for the fourth one, you are not able to see any past or failure thing. Here, if you will click onto the skip, so you would be able to see that, right? It skipped for the Chromium and also for the Firefox, right? Okay, and this skip thing can be used in other way also. Let me tell you. So this was the first way where we have used it with this test block declaration thing, right? Test.skip. Okay, and the same thing you can use it for the describe also. So test.describe.skip if you will do, so same thing will happen. it will skip the whole describe block. Okay, let me remove it. And the second way which you can use is like this. It test dot describe test dot skip, sorry, and let's put it like this directly. Okay, and the same I would put inside the describe block also. So what it will do, the same thing it will do, it will skip the whole describe block here. If we would have put this test.describe dot skip also here also, then also the same thing is going to happen. It will skip all the test cases, all the test scripts which are there into this describe block, and this one also it is going to skip. Okay, so now for now only these two test scripts are going to get executed. Let's execute it. npx playwright test and then file name. And once I hit enter, so all these four test scripts are going to get skipped for both Firefox and the Chromium, or any number of browsers which you are going to use, right? So see here into the report, the same thing happened. All those four, these describe whole describe block tests, and this fourth one got skipped for Chromium, and same happened for the Firefox, right? You can click here skipped also, so you would be able to see all the skipped one, and only these two scripts got executed for fifth and sixth one for both the Chromium and the Firefox, right? Let me close the reports. Okay, and the third way we can use the skip with the condition thing, right? Conditionally we are going to skip any test or any block, describe block. Okay, so to do that, what you need to do, let me tell you, let me remove this one. Let me remove this one also. So the same thing you are going to do, test inside the particular block, right? Not here with the declaration, but inside the block. What you're going to do, test dot skip. This is the third way which I'm telling you to write this skip thing, right? The annotation thing. Okay, and here you need to put the condition for which you want to skip the particular test or particular any describe block. Okay, so to do that, what you'll have to do, test dot skip, and here we are going to use one more fixture like the page we have used, right? So similarly we can use one more fixture which is browser name. Okay, I think I've talked about this browser name into my this async await and the page fixture video. I will provide the link of that one. So similarly we use this page fixture, so same way we are going to use this browser name. Okay, and this browser name we would be using it inside this test.skip. So what we want for the browser name, which is equals to Chromium. Okay, or let's put it Firefox, I want to skip my test. Okay, so this is conditionally we want to skip our test, where if the execution is going to happen for the Firefox, then skip this particular test. Okay, so for the Chrome we would be executing it, but for the Firefox we don't want to execute it, right? So here we have used this fixture, and inside the skip we are just providing the condition. So if the browser, this equals to this triple equals to is kind of comparison thing which we are going to do. So this browser name for this test, right, if it is equals to Firefox, then skip the test, right? So once we will start the execution, so right, our execution is going to happen onto both, right, Chromium and the Firefox. So once this Firefox thing will come into picture, and once this test is going to get executed for the Firefox, Playwright will detect it and then it will skip it, right? Let me run it. Just terminate the report thing, and let's run. So for now we have not put any skip for the describe, but here we have put the conditionally skipping thing, right? So this fourth one will get skipped only for the Firefox, but not for the Chrome, right? Same thing you would be able to see into the report. Here also see one got skipped. Why one? Because only onto the Firefox it got skipped. If it will happen for both Chrome and Firefox, so two skipping will be happening, right? So see, all my test scripts got executed. Only this practice test 4 onto the Firefox did not get execute, right? But for Chrome, see here it got executed. So only one skipped thing happened for the Firefox. Right, passed, you would be able to see here. Okay, so apart from this conditionally skipping thing, there is one more thing where let's say if you want to skip whole describe block. Okay, so this conditionally directly, this we can use this browser name fixture inside the test block, let's say. But if you want to skip whole describe block, right, or if you want to skip all the tests which are there into this spec.ts file, then what? There you would not be able to use the fixture, right? So from this anonymous method. Okay, so in that case, what you need to do is to remove it. Okay, let me show it to you. So see, here we are going to use the callback. Okay, so similar thing, test.skip. Okay, and here you need to put this parenthesis, and inside this we would be using this callback thing. How we can do it? So you would be a callback function. What is callback function? So if we are providing function, if we are calling any function inside a function, right, so that is the callback thing, right? Same, these are also callback, right? Inside the test we are using this anonymous function as the callback one. So I can write it the same pattern, the parenthesis which we use here, right? And here we would be using this browser name, right? Previously we used it here into the test block. So here you need to use this browser name as the parameter. Then after the parenthesis you need to put this equals to greater than symbol, and here you would be putting the condition, right? The skip want the condition that when you want to skip the test or this describe thing, right? So how you can put the condition, let me show it to you the long way. So see, let me put the curly braces here. Okay, and I want to return a condition, right, from this callback function. So return, and now we will be using this browser name equals to same thing we did, right, previously for the conditionally skipping thing. And then here let's skip it for the chromium one. Okay, so see, what we are telling the playwright to skip this particular test describe block if the browser name equals to chromium, right? This would be returning true in case of chromium. Okay, and then if it is true, then this skip is going to be applicable for this describe block. Okay, so to simplify it, there is only one line, right, which is returning true or false. So we can remove this curly braces. Okay, and this return also you can remove, right? So directly it would be returning true and false with a single line also, just to simplify it, right? Return I will also remove, and put it into single line. Okay, so see, here we are going to use this callback thing where we are using this browser name. If the browser name equals to chromium, then just skip this particular describe block. Okay, and apart from this we are not skipping anything, right? So let's run it. Okay, so now whole this describe block, so whatever the test which we are having, these three tests will get skipped for the chromium, right? So see, 3 skipped and 9 passed, right? Let's see the report also. So see, for the chromium, these three test 1, 2, 3, which were there into the describe block, got skipped, and apart from that, everything else got executed. Both 5th, 6th got executed for the chromium, and for the Firefox, all the tests got executed. Okay, and the same thing we can give for all the tests, right? Let's say we want to skip all the test cases, okay, for this uh, file. Okay, so what, for the chrome, right? Let's say we want to use like this, right? We want to skip all the tests which are there into this particular file for the chrome browser, right? So in that case you'll have to write it outside of this any block, right? Describe or the test block. Here we are doing the same thing, we are using this callback thing, but it would be kind of skipping all the tests, right, from this particular file. So now let me run it. Let me run the whole test folder, right? This login thing and this thing. Let's run it. So for this particular file, all the tests will get skipped for the Chrome, right? And for the login.scap, login test.spike.ts, all the tests are going to get executed for both the Chrome and Firefox, right? So see here, report got generated. So for this annotation package.spike.ts, all the tests got skipped for the Chromium thing, but for the Firefox, all the got executed, all of them. And for the login also, all of them got executed for both Chrome and Firefox, right? So it depends, how for you, how is the situation, which what are all the things which you want to do with the skip thing, you can do, right? You can provide it with the describe block, with the test block, directly test.skip. You can provide it inside this block test.skip method. Okay, then you can use this conditional thing where inside the test, if you want to skip any test, then you can write it, right, test.skip, then browser name equals to the Chromium, right? And if you want to do it onto the whole file label, where you want to skip all the tests, or if you want to skip it from the describe, all the describe block tests, so then you can use this callback thing. Okay, you just try the different options, so you will have the more understanding, right, like this, right? But yeah, try all the 4 ways which I have told you. Let me remove this skipping thing for now. Okay, now let's go to the next one, which is let me close all the reports also. So which is test.fixme. Okay, so this test.fixme declares the test to be fixed. Okay, this test will not be run, right, if we use this fixme. So like the skip thing which happened, right, where we know that what we want to skip. Let's say, let me give you an example. So for any one of the scenario, right, let's say uh, one particular module, we know that some changes happen, right, and our locators are not the same. We will have to update our test script, right? In that case, you can use this fix me, so that you would this particular test will not be getting executed, and with this fix me thing, you would be able to detect, let's say after 1 week you are going to fix it, so you can simply find those test cases and fix them, right? So how you need to, similarly like the skip thing, we can use it like this test dot fix me, with this test block declaration thing. So it will skip this particular test, the fourth one, right? Let me quickly run it to you. And this one, annotation for test.spike.ts, I just want to show you how it will look it into the report. So the fourth one will not get executed, as we have put this fix me tag. Okay, for both Chromium and Firefox, but for these other tests are going to get executed. So see, the fourth one and the a fourth one for the both Chromium and the Firefox got skipped. So the same skipping thing is going to happen, but we have used this fix me annotation. So in later we can go for these test scripts and fix whatever the code into our test script which we need to fix, right? It is for the testers use. uh, okay, so here you would be able to see them skipped, but yeah, we have used the fix me annotation, right? And this fix me, similarly like the skip, we can use this fix me directly here with the test block, right? And inside the test block we can use it, right, like this fix me. And also the third way, we can give the condition. So conditionally fix me thing is going to happen. Let's say we want to fix it only for the Chromium, so same thing you can give it here. And this callback thing which I have explained for the skip, so that you can use for the describe block or for whole file label, right? So for the all the file label we want to skip that, so that also you can do. You can try it like the skip. You can try this fix me only, you just need to replace the skip with the fix me. Okay, I'm not going in the same. I'm not explaining the it as it is very similar to the skip thing, right? Okay, now coming on to the next one, which is test.slow. So if we mark any test as slow one, then the timeout for that particular test is going to get increased 3 times. Okay, so where and how we can use this test.slow, right? So we cannot use it directly with this test block declaration thing like skip fix me we used, but we can use it inside the test block. So the first way is the same test dot slow we can use. Okay, so this particular test will get marked as the slow one. Let me show it to you into this login thing where you would be able to verify it, right, or compare it. So here let's put it test. So I've told you, right, we cannot use it with the test block. So here if you will like the skip, if you will put it, so it would be uh, getting error, right? So what we need to do, we need to use it inside this test dot slow, inside this test block. Okay, so directly I'm using this without any condition, right? Test.slow. So this test is going to get slowed. Let me fail it intentionally. Okay. So for an example, I mean, where you need to use it. Let me give you an example. Let's say, for the login thing only, let's understand it. Your login page is taking too much time, right? For by default, we have used this 10, into our configuration file, we have given the timeout for the 10 second, but the page load is taking 30 seconds. Okay, so in that case your test script is going to get fail, right? So let me first run this particular file without any slow thing, right? So and purposefully I'm failing this particular element, right, so that we would be able to see this timeout, how it is going to manipulate the timeout, right? And so npx playwright test, and we are going to run this login test, right? Login test, the file name which we need to write dot spec dot ts, right? And once you hit enter, our test case will get executed. What happened? I think I put something wrong. Where is it? Let me hit it and again run it. npx playwright test and then login tests. Sorry, I've put the spelling of this particular file wrong. Login tests dot spec dot ts. Okay, so you can copy paste these file name, right? Otherwise it will not execute if you don't give the correct name. Okay, now once I hit the enter, so the execution will start only for these two tests. For the both chromium and the firefox, the login thing is going to happen. Okay, so see, for the firefox also it is happening. It is happening into the headless mode, so you are not able to see the execution. So see here, if you will see the failure, right, we have purposefully given the wrong locator value, right? So it got failed at this particular point, right? See, it was not able to find the username, right? So it here by default, as we have given this 10 seconds of time, right, to wait timeout thing. So see, a test timeout of 10,000 millisecond got exceeded, right? So it waited for the 10 seconds and then it failed that particular test. So the practical example I've given you, right? Page load, particular module is taking too much time to load, and we want to skip our test related to that module only. So in that case, we can put it like this, right? Test dot slow, and then that's it, right? And once we run it, so here into the report you saw, right? It it waited for the 10 seconds and then it got failed, right? Let me now, this time let me run it through this extension. So here also you would be able to see that timing thing, right? So we are going to execute this login test.spec.ts. Okay, so as we have marked this one as the test.slow one, so here it is going to wait for 3 times of the normal configuration, right? So here the configuration, the 10 seconds timeout is there, but it is going to wait for the 30 seconds, right? And then it will get failed for our, in our case, because we have purposefully failed this one. But let's say if it is page loading thing which is going to happen, so this will pass, right? Because the page loading was taking 30 seconds, but because of our less timeout, this particular tests are getting failed. So in that case it will get passed, right? Because we are running it into the slow mode, right? So see here, the test timeout of 30,000 milliseconds or the 30-second got exceeded, right? Although our timeout thing is 10,000 milliseconds only, but for the slow one it waited for the 30,000 milliseconds, right? Now similarly for the skip, we use this conditionally skipping thing, so we can also mark the task is slow for the particular condition, right? So let's use the same thing, browser name fixture we are going to use, browser name, and we are going to slow this particular test case only for the chromium, right? For the chromium only the page loading is taking time. I'm just giving an example, right? And if I run it, let me this time now let me run it through the command npx playwright test and then file. So for the chromium the slow would be applicable, but for the firefox the slow thing would not be applicable. Let it run. So for the chromium you would be able to see that it waited for this particular element to be visible, right, to be onto the page. Purposefully we are giving the wrong name only. So for the chromium it is going to wait for the 30 seconds, but for the firefox it will only wait for the 10 seconds. Okay, so see here also you would be able to see for the chromium, see it waited for the 30 milliseconds or 30,000 milliseconds or the 30 seconds, because we have marked if the browser is chromium then use this test.slow, but for the firefox see it is still the 10 seconds only, right? Okay, and the third way which you can use, let's say if you want to mark the whole describe block as the slow one, or you want to mark all the tests of this, of any particular test script file as the slow. So in that case you will have to use that callback, right? Because you would not be able to use this browser name fixture with the describe block or outside of any test or the describe block, right? So in that case what, let me cut it. So similar pattern, right, which we have used into the skip thing, right? Test dot slow, and the callback which we would provide. So inside the callback you need to use the parameter as the browser name. Okay, and then equals to greater than, and then sorry, we can directly write that single line here, right? We need not to put this parenthesis also, and the browser name equals to 5x. Okay, let me close all the reports. So see, previously for the chromium it waited for the 30 seconds into the report also, you would be able to see, and for the firefox it just waited for the 10 seconds. Let me close all the reports for now, otherwise it will confuse us only. Okay, So, so see with this also, I mean for the Firefox it is going to be slow for all the tests of this particular file, right? And the same thing you can use it inside the describe. Okay, so that's it for this test.slow. So, what is it? So now the next one, which is test.set timeout, right? Uh, let me show it to you how you can use it. Let me remove this one. Now we are switching back on to this annotation practice.spike.ts file. Okay. So previously we used this test.slow, right? So see, this one we have used. Okay. If you will mouse over, you would be able to see this onto the slow. This test.slow cannot be used into the before all or the after all hooks, right? And to here, if you want to use, then you can use this test.set timeout instead, right? As we cannot use this test. Here also you can use it, right? And if you will mouse over onto this, so see, so it is changing the test timeout to whatever the value which we have given, right? Here if you will see the description with the before all and after all also, you can provide it like this. Inside this before all, the same we are writing it into the test, so into the before all hook also you can provide it like this test.set timeout, and there is no change, right? Inside the block only you just need to give about these hooks. I would be talking into my upcoming video, but for now I'm just showing it here. And for the similarly you can use it for the before each after each thing, where you can provide it inside the block, right? Test.set timeout. And for that, for this before each after each hook, let's say if you provide this timeout, so note that this affects the test timeout that is shared with this before each after each hooks, right? So this before each, let's say we are giving, so before each test we are going to use that particular block, right? Test dot before each. So if we set the timeout there as the 50 seconds, so for each test also it is going to be applicable, right? Wherever it is, let's say before this particular test, that block will get executed, so for this test also it will get applicable, right? So that's what they are saying, right? And here if we are using it for the before all after all, in that case it is not going to put impact onto our test. So just keep that in mind if you are using this thing, right? Okay, so that's it for this set timeout thing. Now the next one, which is this one, the last one, which is test.fail, right? So this test.fail unconditionally mark a test as should fail, right? So we are putting or using this test.fail, so we want that our test should get failed, right? And Playwright Test run this test and ensure that it is actually failing, right? And if it will not get failed, you will be able to see the error, right? And this is useful for the documentation purpose to acknowledge that some functionality is broken until it is fixed, right? So let's understand it. So you can understand it like this. Let's say particular we in our scenario, let's say you got one particular test case. Okay, this one we know that this functionality for now it is getting failed, right? There's some issue which or bug is going on, and we know that it is going to fail, right? So we want our test script also to get failed at at that particular point, right? Or for that particular test we want it to get failed. Otherwise, let's say if it is getting passed, so there is some issue, some changes which has happened, right? So at least we wanted to be aware about that. So in that case, meaning you can use it, this test dot fail thing. How you can use it, let me tell you. Let me remove all these time of thing. Okay, yeah, okay. So how you can use it? So you cannot use it at this block level test block declaration thing. If you will write it here, be you would be seeing this error, right? So remove it from here. So similarly, like for the slow thing we have used, you have to use it inside the blocks only. So test dot fail, right? So if we use it, so see here you would be able to see the description and unconditionally mark a test as should fail, right? So if it will not get failed, then you would be able to see the error. And if it is getting failed, then you would be able to see the actual error, right? Let's say if it is not able to find the particular element, so it would be visible. But if it is not getting failed, so we want to get some notification, not the notification, but some hint, right? That this particular test got passed, right? Otherwise, we would not be able to. Usually, we do not focus so much on to passed one, right? If it is passed, then we will consider it got passed. But if you will put it, so it is kind of reminder, right? Let's say if that particular test start getting passed, so you will at least be able to see that failure here, that this particular test is getting passed, right? So let's run it. Let me get this serving HTML report thing, and let's run it for this annotation practice.spec.ts. So here I have marked this fourth one, and let's mark it. We can do all these annotations for the multiple tests also, right? For the example, I'm just showing it to you for one or two one. Okay, so once I run it, so see the execution started, but see here into we are just not doing anything, we are just console logging, so all the tests should get passed, right? But here we have specifically mentioned that this test should fail, as it is not going to fail, so we would be able to see it into the report, right? Let it run, then I will show you how you can see it. So here into this terminal also, you see expected to fail but passed, right? This fourth one or the fifth one. Let me show it into show it to you into the report. So see, for the fourth and fifth one, right, we have put this test.fail. So usually, mean for the console log, right, no error is going to come, so it got passed. So if you will go to this test, so see what is the error is expected to fail, right, as we have put this test.fail, but it got passed. So that's what it is giving error, right? For the video and all, we would not be able to see as we are not opening the browser itself, so that's why it is showing this blank thing. And here into the report also, this attachments section is there, where we would be able to see all the console log thing which you are using, right? Starting practice test 4 and ending practice test 4, these console log, right? So yeah, this one was related directly failing, right? We want this particular test to get failed, and this test.fail can be used in the second way also, where we can provide the conditionally failing, right? For the slow thing also, we did the same thing. So here, let's say we want this fifth one to get failed only for the oops, browser name, right? Browser name picture you're going to use, and we want to get this particular test get failed only for the Firefox, right? So what we are telling, for the fourth one should get failed, right, without any condition. For the Chrome, for the Firefox, for the WebKit, whatever the browsers are there, it should get failed. But this should get failed only for the Firefox and not for any other browser, right? So let's run it, and it is going to get passed, but we would be able to see the error, right? Let me run it. So into the report now, we should be able to see the three failures, right? Previously we were able to see the four failure, but now we have applied it for the conditional only for the Firefox, right? So for the Chrome, we would not get the failure thing. It is the old report, right? And this new one got opened. Okay, the execution completed. So see, for the this test.4 should get failed, we have mentioned, right? Should get failed. So for the all the browser it is applicable, but here we have failed it conditionally. For the Firefox only, it should get failed. So see, for the Firefox, it got passed, so that's why it is appearing as failed into the report, that it was expected to be failed, but it is passed, right? So you can try it more at your end, so you would get more understanding of it, right? And like the conditional thing, if you want to use it at the describe block level, right, at the describe level, or at the whole test script level, right, if you want to apply it to be applied, want it to be applied for whole for all the tests. So here you will have to use it like this, right? Test dot fail, and that callback thing, right, which you have used. So inside this you'll have to write the callback function, and we are going to use this browser name as the parameter, which would be returning the browser name, and then this browser name equals to triple equals to, right, and then double equals to also here in this case you can use, but for now we are using the Chromium. The triple equals to, and what is why we are getting error? The comparison appears to be okay. Okay, sorry, we need to write it inside the this curly braces, right? So browser name equals to Chromium, and for the Chrome also, Chrome only, we wanted to we want this describe block to be failed, right? Let's remove other thing, so, and let me run it for you, so we would be able to see it into the report. I want to show you that how it will look into the report. So see, for what we are doing, and that for this whole describe block should get failed intentionally, we are giving that it should get failed for the Chrome browser, right, not for the Firefox. So inside this describe block, three tests are there, right? So all these three tests should get failed for the Chromium. That's what we want, right? But it will get passed, right, because we are not doing anything. It is just console logging, so it will not get failed, right? And if we run it, so we would be able to see these three failure. Why? Because it was expected to fail, but it got passed, right? So that's what we are going to see into the report. Okay, and the same in the similar pattern, you can use it for whole test script level, right? In outside any block, you can write it with this callback thing, so it would be applicable for whole file, right? So if you run a whole suite, this test folder, so for this particular file, it will be applicable, right? Yeah, the execution got completed. So see, let's see all these practice of describe, which is describe block test got is appearing as failed for the Chromium, right? For the Firefox it is appearing as passed because we have put the conditional failing thing, but we want it to be failed for the Chromium, but it got passed, so that's why we are seeing the error, right? Okay, so uh, yeah, that's it for this particular fail thing. I think I've explained all of these things here. Now we have covered all these annotations, right? There are also any other methods also which you can try. I will provide the link of the Playwright documentation where you can kind of go into the more details and try to practice at your end. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this particular video. Let me give you the quick recap. So see, Playwright, we learned about this test annotations in Playwright, and there are different types of annotations which we talked about. So this test.describe is used for the grouping. This test.only, let's say if we are doing the debugging and we want to run the one test only, so there it would be kind of useful. And then this test.skip, we want to skip some of the tests, right? One or multiple test, or the describe block, or all the tests which are there into the script file that we can use, right, using this test.skip by giving it at the different label, by giving it with this test block inside the test block with the condition and with the callback, right? And the same thing is going to be applicable for the test.fixme. We want to mark some test case to be fixed, right? And then we learned about this test.slow, where we it would be kind of increasing the timeout to triple, and we can use this test.slow inside the test block without any condition, with condition, and with the callback function, right? And as we cannot use this test.slow with this before all after all hooks, so in that case we can use this set timeout, or if we want to put any specific timeout, because this slow will be kind of just be doing this timeout to into 3, right? But if we want to do it into 5, right, so in that case you can use this set timeout for a particular test also. or at the before all, after all, and before each, after each, right? But for the before each, after each, it is going to be applicable for all the related tests also, right? And then we learned about this field thing, test.fail. We want a particular test to get failed, right? So there we can use this test.fail, and we can use it only inside the block, right? Either inside the test block or inside the describe block also we can use, but not with the declaration, right? Block declaration we cannot use this test.fail or test.slow. And we can use it without the condition, with any condition, and with the callback a function also we can use it, right? So yeah, that's it from my end. Stay tuned for my upcoming videos. If you have any comments, questions, doubt, you can let me know into the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day.